Live from the heartland, I'm Steve Gruber. It's time to climb aboard the truth train as it rolls down the tracks, rolling over the indefensible lies of socialism, communism, and the idea that America's a bad place. America's the greatest nation in history, and I will fight to defend her each and every day. Welcome aboard. Here are three big things you need to know right now. Number one, the Justice Department is continuing its war on pro-life activists, this time by indicting 8 protesters in Michigan for being too close to the abortion clinic door. 2, one grand jury is taking aim at Ivanka and Jared, while another may have been destroyed by a glory-hungry woman who could give President Trump a huge win. Number 3, priorities. It's time to discuss the priorities of the people we send off to Washington and the ones we don't. Those are the people behind the curtain that are often running the place when the elected officials are pretending to be in charge. So what are the priorities of the people inside the Beltway? Because from where I'm standing, it certainly isn't most people in this country, and certainly not the ones that live in the country or other small and out-of-the-way places. What other conclusions could you draw based on the total failure to deal with a massive train wreck and subsequent fire involving tens of thousands of gallons of highly toxic polyvinyl chloride in East Palestine, Ohio? The wreck came on February 3rd, and the entire Biden administration has been in a train wreck ever since. Nobody worse than Transportation Secretary Pete Buttigieg. That, at this point, has basically disqualified him from ever serving in government again. And I join the call for him to resign today, as he has proven time and again that he is not up for the job and, in fact, totally incompetent in the role. Case in point, he has, just like Joe Biden, ignored them, failed to go to the Ohio-Pennsylvania line to even look at what happened or meet the people in that small rural community that say their dogs and cats are dying, flocks of chickens are dying, and the water smells like chemicals and has a rainbow sheen in the small creeks and waterways in and around town. Joe Biden flew off to Ukraine and Poland, dumping $200 billion into the hands of the most corrupt government on earth in Kyiv, before promising the leaders in Warsaw that the United States, meaning you and I, will pay for and build a brand new Westinghouse nuclear power plant in that country. Wow, I'll get back to that in a minute. But let's talk about the thing Joe Biden likes to talk about sometimes, his government approach. Well, let me be more crystal clear. This looks more and more like a whole of government failure in Ohio. The EPA director doesn't take East Palestine seriously at all. Listen to this.
One of the people that we spoke with yesterday from East Palestine, she said to us, look, when I take a shower, my skin burns. I have nausea, I have constant headaches, and I don't believe that this is safe to drink, that the soil is safe to plant anything in, and that the air is safe to breathe. What do you tell someone who's having symptoms like this? And she's not the only one.
Well, you know, I think that they have a lot of trauma in that community, and people are experiencing a lot of things. The first thing I would say is anybody experiencing any adverse health impact, they should seek medical attention from their primary doctor. Or I was with the governor yesterday, and they just opened a new clinic where they can guide people to seek medical attention. You know, I see them, I hear them. I'm not second guessing their experiences. What I can say is the water that has been tested and the air that has been tested is coming back with no adverse health impact levels. And so we can provide the data. But if people are experiencing things, we're not going to second guess anyone's experience. I'm asking that they seek medical attention at the local level.
Yeah, as Mom used to say, actions speak louder than words. It's been 20 days now since the whole Norfolk Southern train came off the tracks, and so did any federal response to the spreading PR and environmental disaster. By the way, where are all the Earth First tree huggers and bunny lovers that so hate fossil fuels? You'd think that when the government torches about the most toxic form of plastic and produces a cloud so big it reaches tens of thousands of feet into the atmosphere, that they might show up and say something. But no! The global climate warming change cult is too busy sipping lattes from Starbucks whilst complaining about capitalism on their Apple MacBook Pros. They're doing far too much of that to be concerned about a bunch of hayseed Trump voters in Ohio and Pennsylvania. Those people don't matter. They don't need equity. I mean, they voted for Trump, so any mishap that hits them, they probably deserve, right? Oh, speaking of President Trump, he did go to East Palestine. and was greeted like a king when, in fact, he appeared to be nothing more than a man of the people. Yeah, visiting the devastated community before Joe Biden or Pierre Buttigieg, and brought thousands of bottles of free water and piles of food, too. Listen to this.
But we're going to find time to come back if necessary. If they don't come back and give you the treatment that you need, we will be back. The Biden administration should ensure that every family has the option of moving and homes and everything else until this thing is straightened out. I do want to especially thank some of the incredible people that helped us, because we're bringing thousands of bottles of water, Trump water, actually, most of it. Some of it we had to go to a much lesser quality water. You want to get those Trump bottles, I think, more than anybody else. But we're bringing a lot of water, thousands of bottles, and we have it in trucks, and we brought some on my plane today. But to that end, I'm pleased to announce that we've helped coordinate the delivery of the water and bottled water, as well as the tractor trailers full of it. We have big tractor trailers full of water. I think you're going to have plenty of water for a long time, maybe. And I want to thank...
Yeah, a lot of water for a long time, maybe. It's, of course, Trump water. So what about Mayor Pierre? You know, Little Pete, the guy who earlier this week proclaimed that as the guy in charge of South Bend, Indiana, he dealt with plenty of disasters over 8 years. Natural, human. I would guess he was probably talking about his poor leadership, but he wasn't terribly clear about it. What is clear is this. East Palestine is not a priority to Mayor Pierre either. In fact, when asked by a Daily Caller reporter a couple of days ago, he said he'd answered enough questions. He needed personal time. If you missed it, Pierre Buttigieg, the transportation secretary, says he has personal time to take care of. This is from Tuesday night with a Daily Caller reporter who he then photographs in a very strange ending. Listen.
Secretary, what do you have to say? Hi, how are you? Good. Jenny's here at the Daily Caller News Foundation. What do you have to say to the folks in Ohio, East Palestine, who are suffering right now?
Well, I'd refer you to about a dozen interviews I've given today, and if you'd like to arrange a conversation, be sure to reach out to our press office, but I'd like to have that conversation with you. Just walk
You
down
don't
the
have a
street
message
here.
for them?
I do, and I shared it with the press many times today. I'd refer you to those comments.
Would you mind sharing it with us?
No, I'm going to refer you to the comments that I made to the press, because right now I'm taking some personal time, and I'm walking down the street.
Are you going down there?
What's that?
Are you going down there at all?
Yeah, I am.
When are you going?
I'll share that when I'm ready.
Okay,
I'll talk
thank
down the
you.
street. Can I get a photo of you?
Yeah.
Can I get a picture of you? Nice. Strange. Very strange. That's Mayor Pierre, the guy who faced all those traumas and all those disasters as the mayor of South Bend, Indiana. I don't remember trains exploding in South Bend, do you? I must have missed that headline. Mayor Pierre, he needs to resign. He is a disgrace. He's just as bad as Mayorkas is on the border. Incompetence reigns supreme in Joe Biden's cabinet and administration. What a joke. Joe the joke and his host of court jesters. More on that when we come back on the Steve Gruber Show.